Hello, friends and relatives. I'm Jeffrey Grutner. I'm watching an eagle soaring overhead right now as we're getting ready to do this message for all of you. We are 6 days away from the eclipse, and um, it's taken us that long just to find our way home and to get things cleaned out and dried out and to process so much amazing stuff that went on for everybody who participated near and far. But this message is especially for the people who came to the Dragon of Peace and Transmutation ceremony at the Awakening Eclipse Festival at Willow Springs. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, really, is what is this dragon that I've been talking about? But I can't go into all of the detail of what went on in creating or participating in giving life to this mystical being that I keep referring to as the dragon. Why we call it that and all of that, those are in other messages. But I do want to say that we are going to be calling it because of everything that went into it, the Dragon of Peace and Transmutation. And we had the privilege of recognizing the potential, that the possibility that earth and sky offered us if we human beings were willing to step into that space and participate, with all that could happen with that. And we did. I got a vision and got focused, and for the last many months, a lot of hard work and travel, as you may have heard in other messages, and with the help of my spiritual traveling companion, first and foremost, Fenella Collins, and with the help of many others. Couldn't have done this without her or without Nathaniel Quinzer, who really stepped up to support, do a lot of work. And then, of course, the many others, Hope Scholes, Corinne Preuss, many people who showed up, and of course the proprietors, the owners there, Andy and Robin Mauser, who offered that Awakening Eclipse Music Festival, and where we were able to do the ceremony. I don't know if they knew what they were getting into when they said yes to me. I doubt that they regret it, though. It's been an intense, profound, magical, sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes challenging, but we knew that's what it would be, because this is about transforming into an entirely new space. And I think that's where a lot of people feel who went through this, is that they're finding themselves in a new space. Some knowing exactly who they are, some still wondering who they are and why they feel so different, and what is going to be moving forward, what will be. These were some of the many intentions that we set up for people to go through their things on the personal level, but also this really powerful intention for the collective, for all of us here on Turtle Island and in the United States, but really the whole world, as we move into the Aquarian age, yet another big step in that regard. So having said all that, and I'm sure I'm missing some of the gratitudes, the people who are on my team, there's other many gratitudes to be offered. But the dragon is this kind of mystical element now. And there was one of the many amazing magical things is that as we were completing our ceremony down there in the left wing of the Willow Springs campground area, and had our couple dozen people participating in such a profound experience, just when it came about, the surge of energy up from the earth and up and into the heart and through the whole being and down from the sky and throughout, and just like it's indescribable, indescribably powerful. And the culmination, as I said, of so much hard work and vision on my part that so many people were willing to step up and share in. So what I'm getting at is it's kind of a mystical energy now, but it's brand new. And when we completed that ceremony, and here's a story to share for those who don't know about the dragon egg, was that there was an intention to participate in giving life to this new thing. And right after our ceremony, one of the people participating in it, I think it hasn't been verified, but I think it certainly was one of the people in our circle, and it might have been one of the folks from here, from Minnesota, who came all the way down. I didn't even know about the discovery, if you will, this magical thing that happened until much later. But anyway, he started walking back towards the front gate, and he noticed something, a stone that was kind of glittering a little bit along the side of the road, and then something else that was laying there in the mud. And when he picked them up, it was two halves of a geode about this big that was cracked open almost perfectly in half. And inside were all kinds of crystals. This heavy, amazing thing that just appeared. Hundreds of people had walked by over the course of the week. And yet it showed itself at that moment after the ceremony. And I believe it was Robert, but Robert presented it to Andy Mauser, the owner, and said, "Here's your dragon egg." I'm retelling it third hand because I haven't heard the story directly. "Here's your dragon egg." This amazing thing. And we had magical moments, synchronistic magical moments like that throughout the whole time we were there. You couldn't make this stuff up. And so, as I said, I didn't find out about it until much later at night. They were all very excited about it, just in awe of what had taken place, that here's this thing. The practical explanation was Andy had 70 tons of rock hauled in or thrown on his not thrown on, but dumped on the driveway, and he back dragged it and smoothed it out. So somehow, was it there? Or did it just appear? Either way, it didn't show itself until the dragon ceremony was complete. Just as a way of the natural world and spirit to show us you did do something. I know that because of how many people I heard from who said that it changed their life. So I know, at least on a small scale, we did a good thing, and maybe we did something on a big scale. But we did something. And again, I hope that you review the intentions around that, about us moving forward to live on this planet in a good way. But there was this dragon egg, this geode, cracked open, beauty, just and so I didn't really get to see that. I didn't hear about it until very late, and I didn't get to see it until the middle of the night, like 1:30 in the morning. So in that dim light, and just amazed at this thing. I was really looking forward to seeing it in the daylight, to see what was this, how did this look, and I did get some pretty good pictures even in that dim light, but I couldn't wait. And the next morning, we were challenged with getting things down in the rain, et cetera, et cetera. And in the course of that, in talking to Andy, he knew in his heart that half of that should go with me as the one who originated the ceremony. These things couldn't have happened without all of us. Without Willow, without me arriving there, without all of the connections that were made, the people who are participated. And nature and spirit responded so powerfully. But he was going to give half of that to come live with me. And when we got to the front gate, where it was maybe just minutes before, it was gone. And there was some kind of kerfuffle, some kind of diversion by police arriving over some, nonsense thing. And we don't know, but it was gone. It was stolen. So this priceless gift from Spirit was stolen. And it was shown to many people around the camp. Everybody was amazed that this thing appeared. And shock, hurt, disbelief. Who would do such a thing? All of those things that go through, the sense of violation when something is stolen from you, something that was shared with the whole community. But that dragon egg, as we're calling it, that geode was gone. Less than 24 hours in Andy's possession, and I never did get to see it in the daylight. So there we were. So what are some of the lessons behind this? Well, trying to figure out who it is and why would they steal this and so on and so forth. Because there were very few people left in the camp. And all of that, those are things we could sort out, perhaps. An old paradigm would suggest, well, let's sleuth it out, figure it out. But what is this mystical dragon really about? Peace and transmutation. And Spirit did show us, even if it was only for a short period of time. Spirit gave, and through some other avenue it was taken away. Now this human is, it's truth to say that they're selfish, greedy, and cruel. But how could we respond to that? We could respond with that kind of energy. We could respond by trying to figure it out and accuse people, which, by the way, is not what I would recommend, because we don't know. We can only ask questions. We can put energy out there to call it back to us. There are methods, as a shaman and many other spiritual practices that I use. There's a way to do that, and we can do that. But I think there's a deeper lesson here. And one is that the person who took it will have their karma for doing so. And depending on, it's not up to us to make all of the judgments and how they should be, what they should receive for doing, such an act or whatever. That has to be left up to the Creator, to the karmic board. however that's going to go down. It's not ours to make those judgments. You know, it's okay, it's karmically correct to think, well, I hope they get the pain that they've inflicted on others. But again, you know, it's a middle road. It's not the low road. It's not necessarily the high road, but it's a middle road. Feels okay. And but here's what I see and what I recommend. This thing, this stone, this beautiful thing that emerged at the time that it did, with all the energy that we've given it, this mystical dragon of peace and transmutation. That is what it represents. And that, as far as I'm concerned, what was given life by all of us who participated, some from other parts of the world, some from there, so on, all over, investing in this idea and giving it energy. The cosmos, the earth came together, and we humans, we said yes to the best of our ability with this humble and sincere heart, the best of our ability, to say, let's have a better life. That's the energy we need to infuse. This dragon needs to be fed. It's brand new. It's young. We need to feed it with peace and transmutation. We need to feed it with love. The geode, the dragon egg, it represents that. And so we can feed that dragon egg with that energy. And whoever took it will go through some transmutation as long as we're feeding it that. Don't go back to the old paradigm of what a horrible person. They will get theirs. Maybe that egg will come back. Maybe it's on a spirit journey. Maybe it was only there to show us spirit recognized what we all did. And it disappeared, because I've seen that too. That might sound like a little too woo-woo or magical thinking, but I promise you, in the 32 years of practice that I've been doing, and even before, when it wasn't happening to me, but I was witnessing it with other medicine men around and other people, that could have happened. So I think our challenge, when we get challenged, and there were a lot of them, I mean, on a personal level, right up to the last minute, I was being challenged to be able to stay in my center and focus and move through to complete what I had started and be there for all the people who came. That's part of the work. This new thing is not going to just, like, okay, we did it and it's over with. We have to feed it. We have to nurture it. We have to take care of it. And we do that by continually holding on to the idea, the image, this mystical, mythical dragon that is taking flight, feeding it with love, feeding it with peace, feeding it with the idea of transmutation. And we do that by living it ourselves. And stepping up as often as we can to live into that, what is my specialized knowledge that I can bring to others to help people become more whole and heal, if you will, or more joy, whatever it is that we can bring in our creative ability. Whoever we are, we decide we want to be. There's so many things that are incorporated in the energy of that eclipse, and the intentions that many people had around that, to continue to live into that and know that as individualistic as we might be and want to be and have the right to be, the real challenge at this point in trying to bring, there's more than one, but one of the challenges in living into the Aquarian age is that we also have to have the systems to live together. If everybody is so individualistic and doing their own thing, and we're forgetting about how we're taking care of each other and taking care of a community, and how we have rules and boundaries that we can all agree on, then we simply have anarchy and chaos. And a lot of, unhappy people. That may be the harder part. As we're transitioning from old paradigm through to a new paradigm, those are just two of the edges that we have to work. How can we live into our individuality and wholeness? How do we support each other in doing that? And how do we find the ways that we can live together? I want to repeat something that I said on stage there at Willow with a little more complete, which is the idea of peace. The message from Spirit in these travels was, peace is central. Peace deep down in the body, in the heart, and the soul. Peace with your own body even. But peace at that level. Peace with each other. Peace with the earth. We humans, we got a lot of work to do there on all of it. But that peace is, the best peace, and the one we imagine, is the one where there is the absence of conflict and there is the flow and the resonance of harmony. That's what we think of when we think of peace. But peace at that greater level is not just the absence of conflict, because we're human beings and there's going to be conflict. And there's conflict in nature, if you will. It's how we respond to that conflict and how we resolve it. And the beauty and the power of dealing with those conflicts to learn more about who we are and who the other person is, and how the needs can be met in a way that we arrive at a third and greater thing. That's also one of the promises of the Aquarian age. So we know that, yes, we can hold out for the ideal of the absence of conflict and beautiful resonant harmony. And every time we get to experience that, it uplifts us. But the real challenge is when we have conflict with another person, with greater situations, is how we resolve it. And that's where we're going to be building a new society. The main message I have about the dragon egg and the dragon is that please keep feeding it. I'm going to be doing that every day with my daily prayer when I come out here and make a tobacco offering to the directions above and below and to all. And every time I put that, well, maybe not every time, but when I put that pipe together, as I did the other day, to just remember and do this distance healing and joining with all the people that were connected to this event. And when we go into the sweat lodge, I think this as I mentioned to somebody, it ranks up there as one of the biggest things that I've taken on. I have done a couple of things that I haven't really advertised in a big way, that people that know me have known of them. But this is up there, and I'd like to see what can come of it. I thank all of you for listening, and I hope that this message helps in some way. and look forward to seeing many of you again. Hamataki Asan to all my relations.